Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Today is Thursday, August 8th, 2024. I really hope everybody's having a great beginning of the month. Don't lose hope. God is faithful, and God knows what you need before you even ask for it. I normally don't start by saying this, but any concerns that you may have, just pray to the Lord in Jesus' name. Just go to your Father in prayer for whatever need that you might have. I know myself, I've been praying a lot lately. Found myself just any opportunity that I get or that I make, because sometimes we do have to make our own opportunities, our own, if within our own desire to pray to the Lord, that God will intervene whatever hard situation that you're dealing with, and and God knows everything that you need. So that is our faithful hope in the Lord Jesus Christ. I wanted to come here, you guys. Before I continue, thank you so much for following me on Spotify. It really means a lot, you guys. It took a while for me to even get people to listen to the podcast on Spotify, and now that I see people listening and following it, really means a lot to me. I'm always checking Spotify followers. So thank you for that. Thank you for everybody who's listening on the Apple podcast, which is 50% of the audience, and also everybody who listens through Pandora, iHeartRadio, and every other platform, Amazon Music, every other platform that where you can get Julissa Designs podcast. And thank you so much, of course, to the people watching this video on YouTube, and to the new subscribers, welcome. And please leave a comment if you need prayer, whatever it is. If you want to keep it private, you can always email me, julissadesigns.com. If you want to know what Julissa Designs, the fashion brand, is all about, you can always visit julissadesigns.com, which is our main website. To catch up on the videos or the blog posting, you can go to julissadesigns.blog, and to shop the collection is julissadesigns.shop. I do have, it's so crazy. Speaking about websites, when I first opened Julissa Designs website, the main reason I opened my website, julissadesigns.com, all the way when I was still in college, because I'm like, it looks to me like back then, I was like, it looks to me like every other business out there, they have a domain. And that's what I was thinking. And I don't think I ever shared this before. Every other business has a domain. And I was like, I'm here studying, making my dream come true, basically. And I'm like, I don't want to go out there and one day be like, oh yeah, let's build my website for my brand and not have the rights to my domain. So I'm like, I'm gonna start my own website before it's taken. And it's so cool because nobody can have julissadesigns.com. And I like I said, I registered that domain long time ago, guys. It's so crazy. I had it for so many years. So very thankful for that, because when I first registered that back in college, I was like, it was like, I have to pay for this. I was a college student. It was like another bill that I have to maintain. And the domain, paying for the domain, even for the year, was like a lot back then for me. But it was so cool to just have that. And people would say, well, what did you put there? Like, you're not even graduated yet. I'm like, I just put my sketches. I just put stuff that I want to talk about. And that's how it all began. But let's talk about this, guys, because we can learn so much. Really, human behavior is so crazy, how there's so much envy in our daily lives. And I have found myself beginning of the year to kind of late last year, I started noticing things, and through prayer and through fasting, God has revealed so many things to me. And I tell you, I always speak about 2024 being the year of exposure for some, for the Church of Christ and all of that. But in my life, it has been a very eye-opening year. A lot of things were revealed to me that I'm like, oh my goodness, I do a lot of things. Like, I show up to places where I know I'm not wanted. And it's like I see all the evidence and I just let it, I'm always like making excuses for people, even though they keep showing me who they truly are. And it's like so many things, and I'm like, oh wow, that is so true. I just noticed that, and I'm like, why am I even like continue to go? But let me not get off topic and tell you why I'm making this episode. Is because caught on video, guys. They caught a Russian chess player putting poison on the player's table before the game began. Okay, I told you guys, envy is so dangerous. When somebody's envious of you, like, envy and jealousy will lead to murder. Okay, before they do character assassination, they eventually, if it's not contained, that envy, they will eventually lead to murder. I think a lot of the murders that happen is motivated by envy and jealousy. So a security camera caught the moment a chess player allegedly attempted to poison her rival with mercury, and the clip has gone viral online. The Russian Chess Federation has suspended Amina Abakarova, a 40-year-old chess pro from Makhala, excuse me, my mispronunciation, in the Russian Republic of Dagestan. She has been detained and faces up to 3 years in prison if convicted of the charges of attempting to poison her 30-year-old rival, Umaiganat Osmanova. It says here, the footage said to show Abakarova pouring the mercury from the thermometer on her rival's board and smearing it with a chess piece that has been shared by various media outlets. It was posted online, and they say the video has been viewed 1.2 million times on Twitter. The grainy footage, okay, I've seen the footage. It's very shocking to see that. And the reason that I say shocking is because, I mean, when I see things like this, I always think about, you're always trying to, like, man, I'm like, because everything's in the Bible, right? Everything's in the Bible. And the Bible says beauty is deceitful, or something, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. That verse about Proverbs 31 women. And it's like, you will think, it's so crazy that that's just coming to my mind, because just talking about people who fake it, and like they use their beauty to flatter other people and to get their way in life, and they go on with life, and like they think that God doesn't see that. And I tell you guys, there's a lot of witchcraft going on within church walls, within church members. And it's so crazy. Like, you really have to get into prayer and fasting for God to reveal to you things. I mean, it's crazy how people are, with one hand they hold the Bible and they're worshiping and they're like, Jesus this and the other, and with the other hand they're looking and they get envy, and they're like, then they go home and do witchcraft and they do crazy stuff, and then they use their flattery to kind of get their way, and like they might want to get close to you just so that they can get information from you to use it against you. And it's just, you have to be, and it's like, you have to always pray for God to protect you from people like that. It is crazy to see how many people are immediately triggered, like, by any stupid thing that is not even like something that they can do. They just get triggered because it's you doing it and not them, and that begins an envy. Like, it's so hard to even have relationships with people. It's very hard to have relationship with people these days. because when, they want to know what you do, the minute you tell them what you do, they think that you're trying to show off. And it's like, I'm just answering your question, like nothing to it. But anyways, this chess player, you can see in the video, she's rubbing something on the tables. And she's like doing this, getting this whole setup so that when her opponent comes, she gets sick. And I believe she actually did get sick, right? It says here, she told the network, she already did an interview. She said, I still feel bad in the first minutes. Well, the opponent got sick. So this is what she said when she was being interviewed. She said, I felt bad the first minutes. I felt a lack of air and taste of iron in my mouth. I had to spend about 5 hours on this board. I don't know what would have happened to me if I hadn't seen it earlier. Sashida, the Minister of Sports, said that she was shocked by the incident. Okay, so after they caught it on video, they say they were shocked to see what happened. And they say, like many others, I am perplexed by what happened, and the motive of such experiment competitor as Amina Abakarova are incomprehensible. And that was just caught on camera. Imagine all the other ones that she probably did behind, that there was no camera around, or probably the ones that are done, at home, like. Because, it's so crazy. People do pray for the opponent, for the people that they envy, to have it, to like have it bad in life. And it's so crazy how, like, really, you think God is going to listen to something like that? It's just, I mean, it was just shocking to see that. It reminded me that, what year was it when, in the Olympics also, that I think it was during the Olympics, the skater got her knees, an attacker hurt her knees or something like that. It was like a big top news back then. And I remember looking at that and I was like, oh my goodness, just so that she can win, she's gonna go and send somebody to hurt other people. And then you think about these murder cases that come along, right? And these marriages that are broken, and then they want to like make their wife disappear, or they eventually end up doing so. And it's like, oh my goodness, what goes on to people's mind? Like, they think they're just gonna go on with life and like everything will continue and everything will be fine. Like, God sees everything. Like, there is such a lack of fear of the Lord these days. This young lady, right, the 40-year-old chess player from Russia, she probably thought, I'll get away, because a lot of people who do this, they usually tend to be repeat offenders, and, they get away with things. They use their charm, their flattery to get everything they want. And, oh, you call me on video, oh, I'm sorry, or, like, I needed to win, so I'm gonna do everything in my power to win. Like, how do you pose for a photo after winning a match, even though you knew you made your opponent sick? Like, you lie. One thing is to lie about something, but to lie to your own self, that's like a whole other level. Like, are you serious? You're lying to yourself. Like, lack of respect for other people, lack of even respect for your own self. That's crazy, you guys, and it happens. And there's a video out there. I don't have the rights to the video. If you wanted to see it here on YouTube, I don't have the right to the videos. I think somebody already posted it on YouTube, so you can come and search for chess player putting poison on the tables, and it will pop up right away. It's just crazy. She was rubbing mercury. And now they got to investigate, how did she get that, right? Had she done it before? It's crazy, guys. And, what I was saying in the beginning of the video, how sometimes you do have to, the Bible said, don't let your right hand know what your other hand is doing. my mom used to always tell me that. She's like, don't say your stuff. She used to get so annoyed. Like, not with everybody. She's to certain people. She will always tell me afterwards. She's like, don't be telling your stuff to those people. And these days with social media, and when you have events, and when you want to tell people, hey, I'm doing this show, I'm doing this thing. Like, I learned the hard way. I learned that I need to be posting that past, like, once I get the photos. And I've been doing that the last couple of years. I'm like, I'm not even gonna advertise my show. I'm not even gonna say where it's gonna be. And it's so sad because not everybody who's looking at this is the reason that I do. Not everybody who's looking at your page, they're there not to just watch you grow and like to see you like accomplish things and like get the brand out there and do the fashion shows. I learned the hard way that not everybody wanted to see that. They're actually just checking to see what I'm like gonna post, like, oh, this is gonna be the last show or this is gonna be the last thing. And the reason that I know that is that when I first started, it took me a while to even do fashion shows. It took me so long to even begin this journey that, man, it is possible for me to do my own line, for me to participate in fashion shows, for me to do New York Fashion Week. It is possible, but it took me a long time, and people will always be like, when I graduated college, people say to me, you chose a very hard career, like I chose a hard career. Like, I've been wanting to do this since I was like so young. I didn't even know what a career even meant. Like, for me to like figure out what a career was, when I started this, every time I had the opportunity to draw something, I would be drawing dresses. And that's when I knew, I'm like, people always say to me, are you like, is that what she wants to do? Probably because she's always drawing dresses. And that was like my thing, right? And people are like, you chose a hard career, and it's very hard to do New York, and it's very hard to break in, and it's very hard to do New York Fashion Week, and this and that. Like, people who never kind of like push towards achieving something, they will always say to you, it's always impossible, right? And so it took me a while, but I learned something. The people that always said to me, nah, it's hard, that's only for talented people, that's only for this and the other, like, they will say right in your face something like that. But then I'm like, oh, I'm actually having the show, I will be inviting people, and they're like, they were never like open to come. And you will think, because they have followed your journey, you will think they'll be like, oh my goodness, finally you get to do your show. They want nothing to do with it. It's almost like, oh, they were just expecting me to, they wanted to kind of say, see, we told you it was never gonna work out, we told you. Because now that I was like, I remember my first show that I did on my own here in Connecticut, when I first opened Julissa Designs, and I'm like, I have my own studio. It makes sense to just have my own show every year, right? So I was like, okay, I'll have my show. I started inviting people, and I'm like, oh man, everybody, all these people are gonna come because they're always asking me, so did you get a job in New York right out of college? And they will be like, well, hey, you're gonna do something with your fashion and this and that. I'm like, and now I see that they're always asking, that they're wondering and things like that. And when the time came for this big fashion show, that it's not like, it was like one set day, it was my first show. It took me a while to kind of like decide the set day and who was available, coordinating with models and the venue and all of that stuff. And I was like telling people, you know what, like in September, I started telling people around November, I keep an eye out because I'm going to have a show and this and the other. Those people had nothing to do with it. It was so obvious. And I'm like, wait a second, then why are you following me for? You just wanted to see if I don't even know what's the point. So that's why one thing I learned, guys, I learned so many things throughout the years when it comes to being an entrepreneur and like having a fashion line and all of that stuff. Keep your mouth shut. Not everybody who follows you wants to know what you're doing. You have to think about Judas. He was right in the midst with Jesus, knowing the next move, knowing what was going to happen, knowing how much everything they were gathering, how many miracles Jesus was doing. Judas was there all the time. He was part of the group. He was part of the group to get information, to know what the whereabouts. Not everybody who comes to you and they're like, so let's go off and catch up and this and that. They're not everybody. I'm not saying for you to be paranoid, but ask God for discernment. And a lot of the times, we already know when we are. It's like if you have a question mark in front of somebody, it's because they already shown you something's up. And you're like, it is very odd that this person suddenly just wants to know my entire move, like what's next, what have I done, what's next, what's coming up, and this and the other. I'm like, that's a little weird. One thing is to catch up, but it's like, hey, is this some type of interview about my whereabouts in my life, my income and everything? Something is up, and like sometimes sometimes you have to also pretend that you don't even realize what they're doing, because then you gotta take it to God in prayer. It's just very strange, guys. But all I'm saying, when I saw this video about the chess player, I immediately thought of that Bible verse. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. Okay, not everybody who comes, like I told you, I have a problem with flattery too. Everybody who comes and people take classes to kind of like learn how to get their way and speak to somebody and like charm somebody all the way to into the here, yes. And this chess player, if it wasn't for that camera, she probably never would have come clean. So I wonder how many people she have done this to. And and that tells you the heart of people these days. It's like they want to win no matter what. Who cares if the opponent gets sick? Who cares if other people, maybe they would have switched seats with somebody else, and they'll be like, oh, they don't care. As long as they win, they really don't care. So it's just crazy. You have to always ask God for protection. So thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel and listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. I didn't mean to make this so long, but I'm sure everything that I spoke about here was for a reason. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day. God bless. Hi, everybody. This is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, Julissa Designs, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.julissadesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.